Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Baltimore. It's not Late Night Baltimore right now. In fact, it is only 12:30 in the afternoon here on May 6th, correct? Dean is here. He's going to give one quick idea about the Ravens schedule. Do you know anything about it, Dean?
I know one thing is that the Ravens will be playing in Rio. I'm not
The
exactly
Ravens will
sure
be playing in Rio.
of the date.
Not sure the date. Well, there goes that season. Ravens will be playing in Rio this year, and that's probably going to ruin the whole season. But that's okay. You don't know who they open with?
No, we know who they play. We just don't.
No, the schedule's out.
The schedule's out.
I thought it was. Anyway,
Okay, yeah, look it up.
it is. You're gonna. Dean is going to replace. Has replaced the same person, different name. We're getting. We're maturing here at the old late night Baltimore.
Yeah.
64 degrees.
Real name, not a
Rainy days ahead. That's his
not
real
a,
name. Dean. Okay.
Not the funny name.
Dean will be looking up the Ravens schedule if it's out by the time this broadcast is through, and we'll get to it then. But first, received a lot of feedback last episode about the Biden versus Trump, and there was a lot of argument that it was very one-sided, which we are progressive. So the fact that Biden versus Trump, and we were favoring Biden, and how that came as a shock to people, not quite sure. But today, we're going to be very fair today, and we're going to show you a person who is in the Republican Party, and we are going to show you parts of their speech and respond to it. Because we believe in fairness here at Late Night Baltimore. You checking that schedule, Dean? Dean's got to be on the schedule.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, the AI on your phone. Mm-hmm. All right. Let us start this person's speech. It was the other day. It was 2 days ago. And here it is. Okay, let's begin. We'll go a minute, a couple of seconds on the speech, and then we'll comment.
When we started talking about releasing the Epstein files, I'm like, this is a no-brainer. President Trump will just roll them out on a big cart himself. Stacks and stacks and stacks of the Epstein files, because obviously Bill Clinton is all in there and Hillary Clinton. That's what I had been told all along, right? Well, it was the most shocking thing when I sat in a conference meeting and I learned that the president didn't want to release the Epstein files.
Well, besides being shocked at that, that's kind of interesting that you would be shocked at that, but that's okay. Everybody believes what they believe. But I like so far in the speech, and this is not kidding, because as far as I know, Marjorie Taylor Greene is the only person who has suffered politically or any way by trying to step back from MAGA. Everyone else did it after they were gone, or when it didn't matter, or when they were going to transition to some other kind of grifting. But on the few people that really suffered, but that's all I know. But I also like the visual. She's showing her pushing the cart is pretty cool. Okay, back to Marjorie Taylor speech.
I was like, what? Yeah, come to find out, he was very much against it. So we kept on trying and kept on talking about it. And then the president told Mike Johnson, no, do not bring that resolution to the floor for a vote. He told the Rules Committee, and Johnson told the Rules Committee, no, you will not mark up any bill in the Rules Committee that will allow the Epstein files to be released. And the resistance built and built and built. He told Pam Bondi, don't release the Epstein files. He told everybody, don't release the Epstein files.
So there you have it. Marjorie Taylor Greene was being told, and all down the line, everyone was being told, don't release the Epstein files. Something that everybody else was being told didn't exist. Well, that's pretty interesting if it didn't exist and you're told not to release it. Very strange. But Marjorie Taylor Greene continues her speech here from a couple of days ago. And she is saying that everyone down the line was told, do not release this. Okay, we're presenting the Republican side today. Comment if you like. We're going to put all the comments on the board. We're going to show all comments. If you feel so necessary to comment on what Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Republican now, very famous Republican, is saying. And now we will return to more Marjorie Taylor Greene short speech. But wait, after if Dean has an update, we'll get to after this.
So we persisted because that's what we promised. That's what we campaigned on, transparency and accountability, especially to pedophiles. How is that complicated? So it got to be such a gigantic amount of resistance coming from the president and the speaker and everyone, the DOJ. I said, fine, I'll do the unthinkable. I'll go over there and I'll sign my name on a discharge petition that all the Democrats are signing their name on. Talk about crossing the aisle.
I'm with you there, Marjorie. That is crossing the aisle. Quite good, excellent, outstanding work. Now Dean is going to tell us an update on the Ravens schedule. Dean, who do the Ravens play and when? Who do they open with?
So far.
No, so far.
Who they play.
He only has who they play.
And where it's being played.
And where it's being played.
But only have one date.
One date is in there.
The first they will play Dallas in Rio, and that will be Sunday, September 27th.
September 27th?
September 27th.
Wow, that's early in the season, huh? Oh, that's good. Get it over with.
4:25 p.m. Eastern Standard.
At 4:25 Eastern Standard, the Ravens and Dallas will be playing in Rio. Actually, that's sort of a benefit for the Ravens because they're playing a road game. Okay, it's way on the road, but at least that's getting it over early in the season. That's good, right?
Now, these are, they don't have the dates, but they have where they're being replayed. They'll play at Atlanta.
At Atlanta.
Cincinnati at home.
Cincinnati at home.
Cleveland at home.
Cleveland at home.
Pittsburgh at home.
Pittsburgh at home.
Jacksonville at home.
Jacksonville at home.
Tennessee at home.
Tennessee at home.
New Orleans at home.
The Saints at home.
Tampa Bay at home.
Tampa Bay home.
At Carolina.
At Carolina.
At Cincinnati.
At Cincinnati, at Cleveland, and at Pittsburgh.
Houston.
At Houston.
At Indianapolis.
At the Indianapolis Colts.
At Pittsburgh.
Said yes.
Home against the Chargers.
Home against the Chargers and at Buffalo.
Dates to be announced.
Dates aren't going to be announced. Okay, so, wow, that sounds, I mean, I don't want to jinx it or anything, but that sounds like a pretty soft schedule. The only games there that really are going to be difficult are the Dallas because it's in Brazil, and the
Houston.
at Houston might be a problem, and at Buffalo might be a problem.
Yeah, the Chargers one they put.
And then the Chargers got to come here. Oh, come on, Falcons. What were the other ones? I mean, come on, that's the Ravens couldn't really ask for an easier schedule as it looks now, but you never know what's going to happen. Thank you, Dean. Remember, we have what no other team had, what no other podcasts have, even though we're going to political We're going to get in there. We have to get in football, and we have the best football person in the country in the name of Dean. Dean's our football guy. So one day we're going to have a Ravens special with Dean and me. Got any last comments on NFL before we continue, Dean? Or we'll wait till later? Okay, later we're going to catch up on the NFL. Sadly, the Orioles are tanking, and I swear to God, I thought they were going to have a good year. Not tanking. They're not tanking. They're just crumbling. I thought they were going to have a good season this year. I felt good about the season. Okay, well, let's get back to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's giving the story about how she was forced into making the moral decision. But it was more than that. Just, you wouldn't think you would be ostracized by your party for fighting pedophiles. But let's Marjorie tell the story.
Me, a general in the MAGA army, crossing over to sign my name with a bunch of Democrats? Yeah, I did. Because women were raped when they were 16 and 14 years old. And he was a convicted pedophile, and we knew there were many with him. So I signed my name on the discharge petition. Oh, did I get my name on the naughty list then? Let me tell you. That became a real issue at the White House. Well, I'll never forget it. I was in my office in the Rayburn building, and I got a phone call from the president.
Now, to make it clear, when she is speaking of the convicted pedophile where she had just spoke, let's be clear, she's talking about Epstein. But she wanted to sign the discharge papers for the Epstein files, which at one time President Trump told her he would release. But then when it became a public issue, and in fairness, accidentally, it became a public issue because of Elon Musk. If we go back, when Elon Musk was feuding, he brought it up again at a very inopportune time. And so, because of all this, we find ourselves at war with Iran, dropping bombs on a girls' school, and triple tapping that girls' school is what I understand. And go down, try to drive anywhere today. It'll cost you. It's like well over $4 a gallon. Those are the lesser important parts of this, but that has to be mentioned because that's very important to the MAGA. But you can't say this podcast doesn't try to show all the views. So let's have Ms. Greene continue with her speech.
And he was at the White House, and he wanted to talk to me about the discharge petition that I'd signed my name on. And he said, Marjorie, you're going to have to take your name off that discharge petition. We can't let, this is a hoax. We can't carry this. This is a hoax. It's a Democrat hoax. And we've got to just put this away and stop doing this. And he said, my friends are going to get hurt. He said his friends would get hurt if we released the Epstein files. He said, Marjorie, these are good people. These are people you know at Mar-a-Lago. People in Palm Beach. They're going to get hurt by this. And I said, Mr. President, people have been hurt. These women have been hurt. I said, have you talked to them? I said, you should talk to them.
Okay, so Marjorie Taylor Greene went to visit President Trump to discuss why she had to sign the discharge petition. And he said, Marjorie, I don't like to do an impersonation. This is a hoax. You can't sign this. It's a hoax. I can't do Donald Trump on the fly like that. But she told Miss Greene here that she couldn't sign it. It would hurt people at Mar-a-Lago, which is his home. I don't know how much closer what he has to say to somebody in private that will make you think he has a connection. Make you understand. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene now saying this.
You should have them in the Oval Office, Mr. President. You have everybody in the Oval Office. You have sports teams. You have world leaders. You have al-Qaeda terrorists that are now leading Syria. You have Mom Donnie. I mean, you have everybody in the Oval Office. Surely you can have these women who were raped as teenagers. Talk to them. I talk to them all the time. As a matter of fact, many of them voted for you. That's what I told them. They voted for you. Epstein victims voted for Donald Trump. And he wouldn't have anything to do with them. And he told me his friends would get hurt. And I said, I'm not taking my name off the discharge petition.
Well, I have to give credit to Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's right. A lot of those people voted for him because they thought he was going to be the one to release the files. And because they thought that because he said, I don't know if this was maybe they read something into this, but he said I'm going to release the Epstein files. So they took that to mean that he was going to release the Epstein files. So she went and talked to the president in the Oval Office and tried to get him to talk to some of the victims. This is what she is saying. Continue.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Because this crosses party lines. It crosses, as a matter of fact, it crosses all the lines. When it comes down to victimizing some of the most innocent people in America, these were young girls that were teenagers that desperately wanted to be models one day. They wanted to be seen as beautiful. They wanted to be rich. They wanted to be famous. And of course, every teenager wants things like that. And they were victimized by Ghislaine Maxwell and others. And they were victimized by the richest, most powerful men, not only in our country, but in the world. And they were used by Jeffrey Epstein as sexual tools for his own satisfaction and his friend's satisfaction. To actually be asked by the President of the United States to back off and not help these women, that's when MAGA died. That's when the entire thing shattered for me.
All right. That's all we have from that. And I'm not a huge fan of Marjorie, never was a huge fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene, but I have to give credit for where credit. I don't have to give credit where credit is due, but I will give credit to someone who is that entrenched financially, politically, with all her friends. But she was, they had reached such an appalling, moral, repugnant position that she took a stand away from it, and not only was ostracized, but when she told the president that she was getting death threats to her family, how she expressed it was that her family members would deserve it if they wouldn't recant their stories. And he had no sympathy. And in fact, think of all she was sharing about their conversations, but she was saying that some of the things he said to her in that regard was so horrific or so alarming that she couldn't share that, or maybe it's some sort of rules on classified or private discussions with the president. But she was rebuked because she tried to take a moral stand. and the correct moral stand, and she was rebuked. And that should tell you all you need to know about President Trump, and that should tell you everything that when someone who is that dedicated to President Trump and was carrying water for Donald Trump for 10 years and was saying some horrible things about people in the Democratic Party. And probably will still go on to say that, and she'll go on to be difficult against. She still voted, 90% with 99% with Trump issues. But at least here, there must be some kind of good feeling we can take away that at least on this issue, she took a stand that cost her. And this is how odd things have gotten in the world today, that I really would never believe that I would be doing a show in backing something of Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I got to give credit to her in this. This podcast gives credit, and actually has to sort of admire, compared to her peers, what she's done. Well, I don't see any comments. Nobody wants to comment. Nobody wants to defend President Trump. I did a podcast trying to take Trump on the issues compared to his predecessor, and I certainly was given a lot of negative comments and a lot of I didn't know what I was talking about, which I accept. I liked, because I like feedback, positive or negative. So I have this show giving people an opportunity to comment or to defend MAGA. I guess they must be driving around trying to get gas, and finally they noticed that the gas prices, besides, if they haven't noticed their unbelievable increase in their insurance premiums, they're noticing their gas prices for the fact that they can't get a job, or the fact that the Trump administration is doing some insider trading by announcing secessions with the Iran war, and then the next day talking about going back to blowing Iran off the map. The markets are fluctuating up and down. All of Trump's friends are making a great deal of money on all this. I hope that doesn't sit well with everybody. All right. I was waiting to see if Dean had any more updates on the NFL Ravens schedule. You can't go by what I say. I thought the Orioles were going to be good this year, and they are not. Let's check. Before we go, we'll check the Orioles record, because we're Baltimore horns. We got to see what Harry Mays is doing. All right. The O's are playing today at 6:40. And they're playing the Marlins. The Orioles are 16-20, and that's not good at all, of course. But there's time yet, to be fair. There's time yet in the season. So we're going to hope that turns around. All right, everybody. We'll have a sports show coming up soon. The Ravens did well in the draft, B+, we want to say. And MAGA continues to be horrible, and the country continues to be at a particularly low point. But we've been there before, and we'll rise up again, as we always seem to do, or at least try to do. just not lately. It's been a very difficult 10 years since a certain person came into the political sphere. But we're going to keep fighting here at Late Night Baltimore. We do hope for your support. We do hope that you can like and subscribe. We're trying to do better. You can give feedback. Take all feedback. Really do. Read all and try to comment with all the feedback. And subscribe to us. You know how most podcasts hope to subscribe to us. We're going to hit 1 million subscribers. Well, we are going to hit, our goal is just to hit 1,200 subscribers. We only need 1 or 2. So if you can see fit to give us a like, give us a subscribe to us, and keep watching. We're going to keep trying to improve. We're going to keep fighting the fight. We haven't lost our eye on the local Baltimore scene here. We began as a sports podcast, and we're not leaving those roots because we happen to have one of the great sports, NFL sports analysts in the country. And of course, I'm referring to myself. No, I'm referring to formerly was known as Fez, now is known as Dean, and he will and I will be making a football episode soon. Maybe when the Ravens come out with a full, a real schedule, not just who and where they play, but the actual dates of the schedule. That's coming out soon. And if we can get any news on the Orioles, we'll try to talk about that. And local city news as always. Okay, that's all for now. It's 1:11 here in Baltimore in the afternoon. And I will talk to you all soon. And once again, our episode featured completely a Republican, and the entire speech of that Republican showed the whole thing, commented on throughout. So people said, show the other side. Use clips. We showed the other side. We used clips. All right. Okay, that's the show for today. We will talk to y'all later. Everybody have a great day. We're going to do our outro, and we will say, and continue to F MAGA. Once again, F Jake Tabor, and F all those positive Orioles predictions for now. But, you know, they get on a little winning streak here, they're back in it. And that won't be so shocking. All right, everybody. Have a great day.
Big Rooster.